What's up everyone, John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo here with an unboxing of what's sure to be one of the hottest handsets this holiday season for professionals and consumers alike. This is the Droid Pro for Verizon Wireless. Let's get started. So as you can see from the box, the Droid Pro is a form factor that many people have been asking for. It's a touchscreen on the top, it's got a full corded keyboard down below, there's no sliding needed, it's always accessible and available. So let's go ahead and start with the box and we'll talk about the specs as I pull the phone out. You've got a picture of the device on the front. We've got some package content listing on the side, but we'll see that. On the right-hand side, you've got some jumbly stuff about handling and air compatibility. Another picture of the device on the back. Alright, let's go ahead and dig in. Here is the Droid Pro, which is sort of like the Randy Quaid of smartphones. It might not be the best looking out there, it's not going any beauty contests, but you know it's going to do a good job, it's going to be reliable, and it's going to be able to get you where you need to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this thing out, push it off the side for just a minute, and see what else we're going to get in the box. This is actually one of the devices that I mentioned as being one of the hottest and probably most desirable smartphones for this holiday season. So we've got a micro USB charging port, or charging cable rather, with the wall adapter. We've got the back of the phone, we're going to need that. Got a few European adapters here, and we'll go ahead and talk about why those are here. And some are European, some are for other countries, and will work in other countries. So go ahead and push those out. And they do come with 3 separate ones, and I'll show you which ones they are in case you're going to be traveling. Don't ask me to name the countries that they are for. Go ahead and see what both of those are. And the third. Alright, so we've got a battery, which we'll talk about capacity-wise again in just a minute. It's a nice heavy battery actually. And we've got a micro USB cable. Alright, so enough of all that. Let's talk about the phone and let's go over the specs that this guy is packing because he brings quite a lot to the table. It's going to set you back about $179 on a 2-year contract, and this is a global phone with 3G compatibility. It's actually 3G radios that'll work in the US, but the phone is not going to be unlocked. And if you want to see something very weird and something you're not used to, if you turn it over, you've got a SIM card slot. A few of the Verizon global phones have this. It's still a little strange to see a Verizon branded SIM card in the device. Kind of fun. Alright, so it does have a 3.1-inch TFT capacitive touchscreen with a resolution of 320 by 480. The battery that we just mentioned is 1,420 milliamp hours, so you should be able to get a decent amount of use out of it. Probably about 6 to 7 hours of talk time. This guy is running Android 2.2 with a new version of Moto Blur on top. It's got a TI OMAP 1 GHz processor, so it should be plenty fast. 512 megabytes of RAM are going to help that. On the back, we've got a 5 megapixel camera with dual LED flash and autofocus. And that same lens can shoot 720p video, so it's going to be 720 by 480 at 30 frames per second. And of course, it's got Wi-Fi. Interestingly enough, it's got Wi-Fi B, G, and N. Let's go ahead and power it on and see what we can expect from the Droid Pro. This phone really does bring a lot to the table. Global roaming capabilities, a full QWERTY keyboard, which we'll see if it is worthwhile or not, and a lot of networking options and supposedly very long battery life. Let's go ahead and pop it in, and I'll go ahead and power this guy on. Alright, so we put the back on, and I know how much you guys love when I leave stickers on the devices, so I will pull it off. And the back is made of just plastic. It's not soft touch, sort of has that fingerprinty look to it, just hard plastic, and there's a bit of a hump there on the side for the camera. The front, we'll go ahead and peel off the label here as well, see if we get that whooshing noise that everybody loves. And we do, and this is running Moto Blur. Sometimes these phones don't necessarily have a search button. If you look at some of the other Moto Blur options, this one actually does have that search button. The buttons are capacitive. So I will go ahead and power it on. I'll do a tour of what's on the device. And while that's doing its thing, so as we just talked about, you have 4 capacitive buttons that are sitting below the 3.1-inch screen. You do have a full QWERTY keyboard here. Let's do a first blush and see how this keyboard feels. The keys are beveled and slightly rounded. They do have a decent amount of throw to them. The number keys are embedded. And overall, I think it feels very nice. We'll see how it works, though, in some real-world usage. On the left-hand side of the device, we've got a volume up and down, micro USB charging port. On the right, we've got a hard button, probably for, as it yells at me, Droid. I assume that's going to be a camera shutter button, but you can set that for whatever you like. On the top, you've got your lock and power button, 3.5mm headset jack, and there is some Droid action going on here. Welcome to the Droid Pro. I'll go ahead and do the setup and come back and show you what that looks like. Before I do, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons here so you know what the Droid Pro is going to look like next to some smartphones you might be familiar with. So it's Android stablemate in the Verizon lineup. Here we have the Droid X, 4.3 inch screen versus the 3.1, but this does have a full QWERTY keyboard, so you see from a size standpoint, they're not all that different. If you go ahead and look at them thickness, you can see that they're just about the same. There's a more pronounced camera hump, however, on the Droid X. And from a phone that you guys all are generally familiar with, I think, here is the iPhone 4. Go ahead and see what those look like. And we'll make a smartphone sandwich here with the Droid Pro as the meat in the middle. And you can see what all those look like from a thickness standpoint. So I'll come back in just a minute when this guy is all booted up, set up, and ready to rock.
To program or activate your phone,
so I'm activating the phone right now, obviously, but the speaker volume on this is actually surprisingly loud, and I wanted you guys to hear it in this initial video. I'm quite surprised at how loud this is. So I'll go ahead and push 1 and let it do its activation. But if you're worried about speakerphone volume on your mobile device, not going to be a problem right here. The phone is now being activated. So we'll go ahead and simply stay in line when they program the phone. I will say that I would have liked perhaps hard buttons, especially having a QWERTY keyboard here for send and end. I'm going to have to rely on the touch screen for that. So the phone's getting activated, and I'll come back again in just a moment. Alright, so you've got the phone all booted up, and you've got the less obtrusive, I'd say, version of Moto Blur here. There aren't any sort of colors at the bottom like we see on other devices. You can jump right to the home, contacts, or menu. Let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the options that are going to come on it, and what's sort of pre-installed. So all your typical home screens. I have 7 of them to choose from. Let's see what applications are going to be pre-installed on the device. We'll go ahead and jump back to the home, and we'll see what's here that's unique. This is a mobile hotspot capable device, so if you have that planned, you can go ahead and use this to tether, I believe, up to 5 devices. You can see all the applications that are going to come pre-installed here. And there are quite a bit, including Skype Mobile, which is always handy to have. VZ Navigator's here on board as well. Looks like there's a demo for Need for Speed Shift. You've got, of course, Google Maps navigation, which is awesome, by the way. Totally free and surprisingly still in beta. Got some mobile share and some Moto Blur apps. Overall, this has been the phone that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. There's been a lot of times when I've been really wishing I had a full QWERTY keyboard, and without having to give up the touchscreen or having to sort of slide something out and give up the thinness of the candy bar form factor. So this is the phone that I know a lot of Verizon users have really been looking forward to, myself included. So I'll put it through the paces and let you guys know what I think. If you have any questions or things that you want to see in the review or see covered, be sure to leave them in the comments. I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. Be sure to check out the website for all of your tech news. For exclusive content, check me out at Twitter, twitter.com/John4Linkers. All the links will be down in the what have you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.